Welcome back to the Storytime with Ellie podcast. And today we have a very special guest joining us. And his name is Rusty Diamond. Rusty is a powerhouse in the podcasting world, and he's known for his witty commentary and insightful discussions on the Public Access podcast. Get ready for some great conversation as we welcome our guest, Rusty, to the show. Hey there, Rusty. How are you? Welcome to the show.
Yeah, which is good, which is a good sign. There's been some where I feel like just that little part right there, and then I was like, okay, I may have made a mistake
No, my mistake.
booking, but I think I've gotten better with that. So you were saying earlier that so do you have like a 5-10 minute meeting with someone before you have them on your show?
Oh,
Is that what you were talking about, or is that for other work?
no. Well, I do a lot of different things, as you know. We all
Right.
wear it's like,
Yeah,
all right, this is my hat for this.
me
And my,
too.
my forehead looks so
I'm
big
wearing
for
my
that.
hat with my hat.
That's so funny. Yeah. No, before when I first started doing the podcast, I used to do a meet and greet, right? Beforehand, which I think is a
Yeah.
great idea to still do that to see if there's gonna and it helps people relax a little bit, but then it's time consuming more. So
Well,
what I try to do is a 10-15 minute prior to the recording now.
yeah, I think that's important. And I've been able to weed out a good number of people with that too. Just because I used to just be like, okay, like whatever we're texting back and forth, I think I can get a pretty good feel of the person. But then one, you don't know what their internet's going to be like.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I
so
had that
that's
too.
kind of a whole thing. I'm like, okay, like I had someone, they were standing with their phone and somewhere, and it was,
Mm.
and okay, this isn't gonna work. I can't do this. Like, and then yeah, some people that just weren't. I didn't feel like I could have a talk with, and just like,
Uh,
okay, you know what? I'm just gonna stop you there. We'll
Yeah,
just,
yeah,
yeah.
good story. I think of all the ones I have done, you've done a lot more than I have. Rusty, you've been doing this for a while.
Real.
I think I'm going to say, and it's really a strange scenario because we didn't record. Something happened with the recording, and we did not record. And um, long story short, also I'm going to say that the person was a coach. That's how she came into the system as a coach. And she had a
Okay.
great story, but to the point where when we got on the mic and started talking, and when I said, "Do you have coaching clients? Or not even, do you have a website? Do you have something?" She didn't even have that. So I'm like, "Oh, we got the right
What's she
person on
doing?
here." And we ended up there was problems with the recording anyway. I felt bad. I did invite her to come back to record, but
Oh,
she didn't
okay.
respond. But I think it was a
Yeah,
strange
fucker.
scenario. So that is something. Good point, Rusty. Whether or not we pre interview prior to the podcast, and it is a good idea to do it.
Yeah.
And I was doing it in the beginning, but
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, it saves you, having something that day, like where you can block off 15 minutes or block off an hour or however long your podcast is going to be. And it's hard sometimes with that hour, and you get, the 15-20 minute episodes where shit, I shouldn't have booked this person. I made a mistake. I had a guy that the video for some reason didn't record his
that was my
face.
story.
Yeah.
We must have
Oh,
a podcast god.
I think so. Okay, so someone, it didn't record their face, it just recorded you, but
Yeah,
it recorded all the audio just
similar.
fine.
Yeah, that's funny.
Okay, so then and yeah, so then this person, I told them, okay, you know what, like I'll bring someone back in 6 months. That's pretty much my rule. And then yeah, he wanted me to do the same episode over and basically go over the same stuff and then do another episode about a week later. And then I kind of got into it with him. Just like this, like there's no way I would have booked that. Like if for some reason I booked that, I'm very sorry, and that's not going to be the case moving forward. Um, that's my bad, and I'll take full responsibility for it.
Mm,
But I wouldn't have booked. something weeks apart, and the guy wasn't a great interview anyway. It wasn't someone that's going to be like. So I was just, I'm just gonna cancel all these, and we'll be good. Like I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. Like I'm not getting a good read from you anymore, and I feel like I'm not going to be able to give you a good representation on the podcast, and like I'm not going to be able to make my guest look as good as I can make him look, because I feel like I would be not being genuine to the people that are listening or to him. And so, and I don't want to have come on and,
Mm,
tell him, hey, fuck you, buddy. Like, I don't like you.
mm,
Thanks for coming on my show. Don't go and buy stuff from this guy or work with this
mm.
guy. And so I was just like, I'm done. We're good. We'll go our separate ways. I hope everything goes well for you. I don't have any hard feelings, but I was done. And then it's just has to go that way sometimes, I think, and
Mm. Yeah.
being
And
able
you're
to
not,
not have to do an episode.
yeah, you're like you said, you're not doing yourself or you're not doing your guest any justice as well. Because if anything, it doesn't lot look good, right? So you kind of like,
Right.
you know, save yourselves and walk away. I had one person literally, and we're going to get into this whether we want to or not, but I
Perfect.
literally had one person wanted to do a series with me.
Whoa. Oh, all at once, like
Yeah, he wanted to do,
for
or they wanted to do
a few
like
weeks.
the recording they love, blah blah. And can we do another one in a week? And now, as we know, as podcast hosts, the equipment costs money. Everything, our time is money, and we don't mind doing this. For many of us, it is a hobby. We can make some money, and there's other avenues, but that's something we'll get into that another time, I think, because we should probably maybe help educate some of our new podcast people that want to be
Sure.
podcast hosts. Maybe not in this episode, but yeah. So
Can I
it's
sign up
like,
for a series? I'm sorry. Can I just sign up for a whole series here? And
yes, and
uh,
it's not even like, well, good, I'll give you like, $10. It's
right,
like
do all
really.
the work for me. I'll just show up.
And I must
Here
have
you
heard
go.
from them about at least 4 or 5 times until finally, I do have Isabel will help me with some of my work. And I said, yeah, we have to just tell them we can't because it's not even, it was not a great topic. It was okay. And, you know, so there we go. We have to, it's like,
Yeah,
it's like, pay me.
yeah,
I'll do whatever you want to do. I'll
right.
talk about whatever you want to do. If you want to, like, well, what I've been doing. I know this is your podcast, but what I've been doing is
Oh,
we
we're on your
start.
podcast.
I know about your podcast and my podcast. No, we go on
Oh,
each
okay. Well,
other's.
yeah, no, it's cool. It's the
I
conversation is what the conversation is, and
I know.
yeah.
I actually started. I think I mentioned this to you a while back. Well, I'm working with someone else with a nonprofit organization, and what I've been having some people do is make a donation to this foundation, and it's helping.
Cool. That's a good
That's a good
idea.
hint. Yep. And we work with different organizations, so it's not like it does exist. One of them is called Polka Dogs, and they're going to be coming on into the studio. We're going to be recording them into the studio, and I'm going
Okay.
to be working with them too. And as you know, I
What?
worked with the Alzheimer's communities. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. What are you doing with the
good.
dogs on the dog podcast?
That's going to be this gentleman who started this. Well, I believe he's one of the founders. Called Polka Dogs, and what they do is they go in to rescue dogs. Most of them have been injured or abused. And what triggered me to do this was when my dogs go to their doggy daycare, I go to pick my dog up one day, and I'm sitting there, and well, I'm not sitting there. I go to pick my dog up, and the woman's holding this little dog. It's got bandages and stuff. I'm like, oh no, what happened? She goes, she's got a bullet in her. I'm like, what? A bullet. The
Uh,
dog was shot but survived. Had surgery. I don't know if I don't think the bullet. I don't know if she removed the bullet. It was kind of hard. It should have had dog had a bullet in her, so I'm assuming the bullet was removed because the dog did
Whoa.
have surgery. And I was like, "What? How did you get involved in this?" And she told me this group called Polka Dogs, and I went out to them, and it's like, oh my gosh. I mean, could you? It takes a certain person, even her. I actually wanted her to come to the studio when we do the record because she does help them. But I'm not sure if people would totally understand that, her. Sometimes it could be a little hard to understand. But I would love to have her there because I'm sorry. Anyone who does things like this for the animals, they need I believe in giving people recognition and for what they do, and that just touched me. So I reached out to them. I said, "Hey, I would love to work with you, whatever we can do with the podcast, get your story out there. It's all about the story, right?"
Yeah. And who
So
even thinks to shoot a dog?
I know
Why would that come up as an option or something in your head that was maybe I'll do this? That's it.
it's
I don't know. I don't know how, yeah, someone
not
would think that
even,
up.
well, we're in Florida. You're in Pennsylvania still? You're in Pennsylvania?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Did you see we had that hurricane here a few weeks back? There was a
Okay.
dog that was found tied up on a guardrail
Whoa.
in towards the wooded area. It was all over the internet. Now, and it showed a cop rescuing the dog. Why? Probably they couldn't want to take the dog with them. It's a storm coming, things are flying. Let the thing run free, or maybe in their minds they were going to come back for the dog. I don't know. But I don't want to turn this
I'd
into this,
hope.
but you have, I mean, it's some. So this is why I want to bring them on the podcast, and I'm bringing them in the studio. They're probably going to bring a dog or two, so that should be to help them with their, so whatever we can do for that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, rare coffee.
Y- Yeah. And then so okay. So you're down in Florida. So what'd you do during the hurricane? Did you have a hurricane party, which is something I was talking with a guy who was from I think he was from Daytona Beach.
Mm.
I was talking to him on my last podcast, and he was telling me about hurricane parties. Is that something you have experienced?
Yes, I have to some degree, not obviously in my home because I was always trying to escape. I did go to I'm going to say it was really my first real hurricane party. The hurricane was coming. My daughter has her home in Tampa, and she's right in line of where it was coming. So she's going to come
Whoa.
here, where I am in the Orlando area. So she's coming here, and everyone escapes to come here. But I said to her, I said, you know what? Let's go to a hotel. I found a hotel that caters to dogs and pets, and it's called the Aloft in Lake Nona. I just got to be careful because everyone's going to want to go there now. It was the best thing we've ever could have done. We were accommodated. Everybody, we showed up, and it's actually comical. I don't know if I have any videos of this, but I think I might. Shows up, and there's everyone pulling up with their dogs. People are getting out
Oh,
of the cars
wow.
with their pillows, their pets. And I'm like, this is like, what a feeling to be going to
Yeah.
this hotel, checking in like this. So my daughter had two cats. She had them in little carriers. She runs them up to we had our own rooms because of the animals. We don't want to be on top of each other. So she's in one
Right.
room, I'm in the other. And I took the two dogs, and then we went down to eat in the restaurant and the bar. Everyone was sitting all over the place with their pets on their laps. And I'm like, God, if we could do this all the time, if you're a pet lover, it was the
Right.
most. I mean, some places will do it, but they will not cater it like that. Everybody was just sitting,
Yeah.
and all the dogs got along, people got along. So that I would have to say was my first hurricane party, and it was definitely memorable, and I would do it again, even if the hurricane's someplace else. No, yeah, it
Yeah.
was
Just, yeah, everyone. Yeah. The reunion or something of that
yeah,
sort.
we survived it. We had some flooding on actually, it was some flooding, but we were like fourth floor, so nothing came into our hotel. The hotel did get hit by lightning, but
Oh, geez.
we didn't burn. It was fine. It hit the lightning rods, whatever they got. Yeah, we heard that during the night, big explosion. Like, oh. So yeah, that was my first hurricane party. Really.
Okay.
How
Um,
about you? Any hurricanes in
no, I haven't been in
Pennsylvania?
any hurricanes yet. I no, I mean
How about the snow disasters up there?
uh I haven't had any yet. I've only I don't know. I feel like no, I don't know. Not a lot. I had a lot of snow in Minnesota, but it was very well taken care of. And then yeah, and same with Utah. But in Oregon, I mean, it didn't really snow. It would snow, but then it would freeze and unfreeze and ice
Oh
up,
yeah.
and then so it would be ice. And I lived up on a hill, and so it just got to be kind of can't really go anywhere.
Mm.
And but I don't know. It hasn't been too snowy the past couple of years. I think I've been able to go out, but now I'm thinking about selling my car and just going around on a scooter, but it's going to be kind of difficult right now. I got some layers and stuff, but I was thinking about waiting until spring, but I don't know. And then I can get my moped. I have a scooter. I think I'm going to get a scooter and then have my moped. But my moped's down near Orlando right now, so I want to get that
Well, that you can
back
use
up
down here,
here.
but you're not going to use that in Pennsylvania in the winter.
Yeah, no, I'm not. And so I don't know what to do. I might wait until spring and then have that back up. But I want to be able to use it more than, a few months out of the year. But yeah, I feel like I'm about ready to be done with having a car. It's not really, if I can get away with it, because I can share a car, but I don't think I need one. I drive it maybe maybe I drove it a couple thousand miles this last couple years, maybe like 3,000 miles
Well, that's when
total.
you work at home. Yeah, totally. If you're
Yeah,
working from your home or walking to a
yeah,
studio, wherever, or something accessible that you don't need the car, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
why
I
not?
think
If you
yeah,
can pull that off.
and yeah, I didn't have a car for 8 years before. Um, and yeah, it's kind of nice. I've had one for the last 7, and so I think, and before that, yeah, I didn't have it one for 8.
Okay,
So
cool.
I'm sort of, well, I wanted to go back to that. And then, yeah, if
Fading
I
out
need to
of
go,
a car
yeah, yeah,
life.
I don't know. I don't feel like, I don't know. And then like I have a manual transmission, and maybe even just getting an automatic would have been nice. But yeah, driving around, if there's no traffic, it's fine. But sitting in traffic, I'm getting too old to
You
be.
have a lot of traffic by you?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm,
Why am I thinking you're down by the Amish?
I am, but
You
there's
mean
still
those
a lot of
buggies are getting in your
traffic.
way?
They for sure do.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
sitting behind those buggies, and you have to go and be able to pass them on one of those on the roads,
I always
and
wanted
make
to
sure
go
you
there.
don't run out. I mean, it's a pretty cool place out here. I like it.
Do they still do
But
the tours
yeah,
in
they
their
still do the.
homes?
Yep. I don't know about in their homes. I
Yeah, my
assume they
sister
do.
years ago went, her and her fiance at the time, but you're talking a long time ago, like 20, over 20 years ago. They went and they actually
Okay.
had tours in their home and they fed you and you like saw how they lived.
Okay.
They probably
Yeah,
don't do that anymore. Probably
they
with all the,
they maybe do. I
well,
don't
they
know. I
open up
haven't
their
been on any
homes.
of the
Yeah.
tours. Yeah. You know, I don't know. My mom came out here recently, and she went and did one of the tours, but I think it was just, riding around in a buggy, and I don't think they went in anyone's house. But I mean, that was just one tour, and
Mm,
so I don't know. But yeah, it's there's a lot of big trucks that drive through on this road,
mm.
and so it's big trucks and buggies, and then going out towards Philadelphia, you get traffic,
Oh,
and
Philly. Yeah, totally.
yeah, so
That area, forget about it. I haven't been there in a
yeah,
while either. So,
it's
Rusty, what else do you do podcast? And
I do.
do you interview any particular, like somebody wants to come on your podcast? What do you look for in a in your
I
guest?
I look for someone that likes long walks on the beach, loves to just, you know, I really want someone I can have a conversation with that I believe is interesting and that can
Hmm.
hold a conversation for, I guess, more for my attention, which is sort of selfish, but I figure enough of the people that listen to me are into at least a good chunk of what I'm into, and you will find the guest interesting. But I like keeping conversations going. There's a lot of stuff that um you can't really have conversations about very easily anymore. And I feel like everything should, like
Flow.
shutting something down. Yeah, and being like, well, yeah, we shouldn't talk about this is the probably one of the worst things to do when trying to improve any problem. And so yeah, I think that getting to be able to just talk with people about whatever's going on, whatever is happening in life at that moment for that half hour to maybe a couple
Nice.
hours,
Hmm.
just yeah, shoot the shit.
Yeah,
And
nice.
yeah.
So what would you like? We're talking, we're yapping here, carrying on. And because you are a famous podcast host.
So famous, so
It's not all
famous.
about. So lead
Yeah,
the way. What else would you like to talk about? I mean,
yeah.
I always say, because you and I do talk about here and there, but it's like you start thinking about politics, but you don't want to get into a
Get into politics. I'm fine with getting into politics.
um we
You
might not
might
have the
not
same
like
opinion, but
my
that's okay
thing.
too.
We might have the same opinion. Someone else might not have the same opinion, but we all have our opinions, and I think that's important. That's what makes this country. And I mean, yeah, I mean,
What's your thought? What's your thought on this on Tuesday's election? I mean, you
um,
don't have to tell us who you're voting for. We don't need to know
no,
that.
I
But I
mean,
mean, what's your
well,
feeling
I
on the
can tell you,
country?
I'm not voting. I don't vote. I
Oh,
don't vote.
you're
I
one of
don't
them.
vote. I turn that down.
Oh no.
I haven't voted for a while. Um, I
Well,
got
that's okay because you can't see a reason for either way. I mean, hey,
yeah. That's it's my. I would vote for a third party pretty much anytime. The first time I voted was in the 2000 election with the hanging chads down in Florida with Bush and Gore, I believe was
mm,
the election, and there was something with the voting, same thing, same stories over and over, but it works. The machines with the little pieces of the you had to like poke out a hole or something to
yes,
go and
something
select
they
the
did.
person. Yeah, and there was like a little thing
Glitch.
hanging off, and yeah, there's a little glitch, and like, okay, well, that's why Bush won that or whatever. Yeah, Bush won Florida, and I was like, okay, so that's kind of what goes on here. And I got into local politics
Hmm.
in Oregon, and then I got to the point where it was getting close to the election, and I had the thought, if I win, I don't like any of these people. It was for a city council position. I don't like anybody on the city council. I don't like the mayor. I don't like the city manager. Uh, what the fuck would I be doing there? Like, I don't like any of these people. I don't want, if I won, I would be around these people that I don't like at all for a lot of the time, and it just wouldn't be good. I only got 300 votes. I came in as a write-in, and because it was basically someone running unopposed, and
Mm.
but then I decided, yeah, I don't think I'm going to vote anymore. That's going to be my way of deciding. I don't know, like I think there's a place where if not enough people get enough votes that they go and just throw out all the people that are on there right then and start a new one. I don't
I
remember
don't
what country
really,
that
yeah,
was.
I don't know. Yeah, like I said, I don't even, I'm ashamed to say, I don't even follow a lot of this stuff. I just know for like you, our own experiences. Um, and you're right about a lot of this stuff because years ago, um, I was in someone had asked me to run for on the board. It was for a local development company from where I lived in New York. That's all I'm going to say. And I knew someone who worked there, and actually I knew everybody that worked there. And it's the strangest things. I don't want to sound like everybody else, but 2 days before they were going to, announce the winner, it came to me. Every ballot that came in was your name. I think you're going to get it. I'm like, well, let's not, get on the board. Let's not talk about that. That's what I meant. Going to get it, get on the board. All right, let's not
Right.
talk about that because we don't know. I'm always that type of person. Let's wait, right? Because we all know.
Yeah.
Sure enough, when it came to the final, who was going to win? I did not win. And
Oh
this
shit.
person who's pretty well up on, who was right there, person was one of the two. It was a president and a vice president. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
But they actually had told this person, do not open any more mail. This is before they found the winner. But when she was
Yeah.
opening it, she's like, everything was your name.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here
Yeah.
you go. She wasn't
Yeah.
allowed to open up any more envelopes like the last 3, 4 days of the thing. And then when it came to picking who was going to be on the board, I was not chosen. This person was like, how did this happen? And I said, it's not even worth it. Not even
Yeah.
worth it. Because this
Yep.
was just a regular town, small town thing, but it was mail-in
Right.
ballots. But it didn't matter. And then I knew
I
all
mean,
the local businesses who came to me because I was a business person and said to me, "Oh, we downloaded you," and I believe it.
yeah.
I
And
got thrown in the garbage
yeah. And
because
I
I'm
mean,
opinionated.
and well, yeah, I mean, because
Yeah,
yeah, and that's
yeah,
probably also
yeah. We're the
uh
truth. We say it like
very
it is.
yeah, very tied in with other businesses, and
Hmm.
it's all very interconnected. And I mean, yeah,
They
I've
don't want us. They
had
don't want people like us.
no, and there was,
We're not
I mean, I don't
followers. We're
know.
not going to follow the leader. You see, and that's another
Yeah.
problem. Unless
Yep.
you're following the big fish or whatever you want to call it, they don't like you.
Right.
And
And
that's
they'll do whatever
100%.
to discredit. Yeah.
Hmm. I don't care what
Um,
politics you're into.
yeah. And I mean, I don't know. I don't really trust any, I don't trust polls. I mean,
Hmm.
or whatever, a poll or like what would it be called? Like where you go, I guess it's still a poll. Like, this is the number one restaurant in Orlando.
Oh, yeah.
By
Hmm.
who? But what's
Yeah.
the standards? Who's paying you a good amount of money to go and put that in? Like, it's one of those things. And then, and I mean, any 50-50, not any, most any 50-50 raffle is basically like just going to probably someone who they know so they can go and keep that extra money. Most voting, like, who's going to say that's not most every voting place, no matter how they do voting, is going to probably be tampered with somehow. Or maybe whatever they're turning in their numbers, whoever is running the numbers is like, okay, we're going to make up these numbers anyways. I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know how
I
much
don't know
is
it either. And like
what's
I said, you and I are both just don't understand that because we both had our own experiences. But on the larger level, when it comes to presidential elections, I don't know how they keep tabs of that. I just don't know. There's
I
no
don't
way.
either.
I mean, unless if there's so many votes for that one particular person, they can't play with the votes. But maybe if it's, nick and tuck, maybe then they can. I don't
Yeah.
know. And maybe I'm wrong to even say that, but
Yeah,
I don't know. It's
who knows?
just, it's so strange. Yeah.
Yeah,
Especially
and
when, 90% of the people are saying they're voting this and this and this and this. But how did that person, same, it's very, I'm on the small scale. Same thing with me.
right.
I'm
And
on a small
yeah,
scale. But when all these people are coming in, we voted for you, voted for you. And then somebody on the inside saying, oh my God, every ballot we opened was like your name on it. How did I lose that?
yeah.
Because of
And
my mouth. Oh, we're very open. We're not going to conform. We're not followers. And
yep.
most in politics, they want followers. They don't
th-
want leaders.
Yep, they're great. It's great to
That's
have
all
a
I'm gonna
bunch of
say.
followers. It's
You and I
I
aren't
mean, that
followers.
that's yeah, and that's how it is with a lot of businesses too.
Yeah.
They don't want that person. They don't want someone who's going to be doing what they don't want them to be doing, and maybe
Mm-hmm.
doing something that could be better. And then yeah, just go. Uh, if you find yourself in that position, like, think about that. Take a look at yourself and maybe go work for yourself. Go look into that at least a little bit. If you're finding yourself in that sort of position, it'll probably be a good idea to at least look at that idea. But
And what's that? Look at the idea for
to,
what?
to look at the idea to start your own business.
That's
and
how I
uh,
did
and
start my own businesses.
Yeah, because if you don't want some, if you're someone who's kind of outspoken and
I,
not a follower, opening your own business might be a good idea or something good to look at.
100% that you said that, Rusty. 100%. It's opening your own business. And the funny thing is, I'm a team player, and I don't mean that. Even in my own business, and you can talk to any of the employees that I've had, I was never the type of person to come in and say, "You got to do this. You got to." I was happy to see people just doing their own shit. Do your
Yep.
thing. Do your thing. I trust you, and I was always telling people, do what you can. And if I had to jump in, because even though they used to call me the eagle, because even though I wasn't on them, I was like, well, I knew what was going on. I saw. And I never
Yeah.
care. Everyone's got to get to the finish line on their own time, right? I'm not going
Right.
to push anybody across any finish lines. You get there. As long as your job is done, that's all I was happy about.
Yeah.
I
But
was always in the middle. But
Yeah,
100%.
but
Start your own business because people aren't gonna like you in their job. They're gonna think you're a threat.
yeah, and they're not thinking the way that you are, where you're thinking that everyone else is going to do their work. They're under the more under the impression that someone isn't going to do their work and it's going to mess us up more as a collective and it's going to put us back. And so that seems to be more with the follower mindset is you get sort of on the just someone else is going to not pull this their weight, whereas someone with that leader mindset is going to just go everyone's going to do it. Why wouldn't they do their own job? Like why wouldn't, like, here you do this and you go and everyone does it and it's just okay. I'm not worried about it, but we're all going to get this shit done, so let's just do it.
Yeah, well said. Absolutely. Agree with you, Rusty, on that one. And
So then shooting back to politics some more. So
oh,
what better way to get that going? It's it's wild, and like I try to yell at my TV, my phone, everything I have, and my computer, and I yell at it, and whenever I see one of the ads come up, I'll
mm,
yell something, but um I don't know. I don't know if I'm yelling enough because I still see a lot of ads for everything, and it's not like the ads are skewed one way or the other, like, sort of like myself. So maybe they're doing a great job, but they're wasting their time trying to get me to
convince.
vote.
Yeah, convince.
But yeah, and I don't think there's a lot of people that are right now. Like fucking months ago, like who's been on the fence for the last 5 years? How many people in the country have changed who they're if they're voting for, whether it's Democrat or Republican? Like, I don't think there's been hardly any. And I mean, like myself, I used to be fucking, if you can believe it, being from Portland, Oregon, and an environmentalist. Uh, I was very left. Like, I was, you know, conservation left, everything. Everyone's cool and everyone should be able to do what they want. And then I just watched it get turned into something totally different. And
Mm.
I'm like I still agree with a lot of stuff on that side, but then there's a bunch of new stuff that came in the last
Are
10,
we
10,
are we allowed
15
to say
years.
what's the old stuff and what's the new stuff, or what's the party you were
Sure.
affiliated with?
I mean the old stuff. I mean, even just like fucking freedom of speech. Freedom of speech was so left for a long time, and that kind of went away. I mean, the environments. I don't know. I can't even say the environment's even kind of switched too because
Everything
so
changed.
much of
I know what you're coming at, Rusty. Everything
yeah,
changed in these parties, and that's why I was asking you. I'm going to say it. In New York, I was a Democrat.
yeah,
In New York,
yeah.
I was a Democrat. How I was a Democrat was because when my dad, when we were, it was a family of six. Well, hold
Yeah.
on. It was five, six, seven. It was six, no, eight. No, six
Oh, geez.
kids, two parents, eight. I can't count.
Okay.
Eight.
Whoa.
So my dad split the parties. Half the family were Republicans, half the family were Democrats. Isn't this crazy? That's how, back in my
Okay.
day, we grew up. My
And
dad
that's
picked me as
good.
a
You got to learn about
Democrat,
everything.
but we didn't really vote. We voted for who we felt was going to be the best person for the seat on their opinion, right? It wasn't like a
Yeah.
matter of, but I remember the parties were different. The
Yeah. It,
parties were totally different than what they are today.
yeah. And like
Totally.
I tell people, like, I pretty much
I'm in
have the
Florida now, by
same
the way. I'm not a Democrat.
values, and that makes sense. Yeah. It makes a lot of
I'm an
sense.
independent.
And yeah, and
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I couldn't even, like, if I tell someone that I have these, but I'm not fully on board with, I don't know, there's some stuff that seems like
It's gotten away
I don't
from
know if
itself. Yeah, it's
yeah,
not the
yeah,
same.
and
It's
it's
weird.
like yeah, I don't know like why I'd like to know like why is a lot of this stuff such a big deal? And I'm more of like I don't really give a fuck what's going on as much. Like I mean I don't know why it's like I have a lot of these same thoughts, but you're coming at me like I'm fucking uh the most like they don't want anything to do with me because I don't agree on 100% of the things. Like it's not there's not much of a gray area anymore. And then I think that's a hard part and kind of a lot of places with it. The gray has really gone away and that's taken away a lot of the conversation, have
Mm-hmm.
not having the gray because it's like you are impeding on my beliefs,
Yeah.
not my ideas. These are my beliefs, and if you don't like that, then fuck you. I'm not I don't even want to know who you are. And then
Mm-hmm.
I think there's probably a good percentage of people who just sort of see someone and go, well, you know what? I maybe 30-40% of the people don't want to, or don't want to talk to, or no, what would it be like? 60% of the people wouldn't want to talk to 30 or 40% of the people. And I don't know. I don't want to think that. I don't want to think that that's the case, but just like I don't know. Like I feel like yeah, there's not much of wanting to interact with the other, and I I understand why it's gotten that way, and it sort of sucks, but it's I don't know what a solution is other than more conversation, but it's hard when there's a don't say this because these are my beliefs and I can't budge at all on that conversation.
I think it's gotten
That's a
out of
hard no.
control. Everything in this country, we said the world got out of control. And
Yeah,
I think what most people are trying to bring back is, say, the Constitution of what we were raised with, our own, remember freedom of speech? Now they're telling us you can't do this, you can't do that. And I'm going to be honest, and I'm going to say it. If you want, I mean, I look at things like, I'm not saying that people need to keep their own beliefs or what they want to do in a closet, but I think to some degree we have to use discretion because,
yeah,
all right, if you want to piss in a cat box in school, I think something's
sure.
fucking wrong with that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And
Well,
there
I
is a
mean,
school that approved of it. There is a school in New York that actually approved of this. And I didn't believe it, but someone kept telling me it's true. I don't believe it. They told me it is.
yeah. I don't think it is.
I don't think it's true
But
because I talked about this to somebody else, but then someone said, no, it was definitely approved in the school. Whether or not they actually used it, I don't know. But
yeah,
these things to me shouldn't even be bought up.
I
That's
don't
like,
think so either. It's just like, why is this a thing?
it shouldn't even
Why?
be. Is it on the, I don't know, was it on the ballot this year? I don't know. No.
Right.
Some of
Yeah,
the things we're talking about in election makes it so silly. And just
yeah,
like, again, there's a lot of things that are being done in today's world that is so outlandish. And taking away our rights is what they're trying to do. And I don't
right.
care what anyone says, as anyone sees it, the government is trying to take our rights.
Yeah. And
And I don't care which party you're in, who
yeah,
you believe in. You look at what
right.
each one's saying, they're taken away.
Yeah. And I mean there's things that I think everyone should be for, but I don't think are. Like I like so much of these sex rings and stuff that should have been a big red flag. It just became like this weird conspiracy, and you're totally uh far right extremist if you believe that these things are going on, like the P Diddy and there are a lot of the other stuff too. But it's like, yeah, man, you're crazy. Like, I mean, like trafficking is such a huge fucking
Oh yeah.
problem,
No, I know.
and
Yep.
but it's become a like
Well, look at the people that are
only a one
involved. Is
party.
that what you're trying to say? The
What's that?
parties that are involved with the trafficking are like They're
Right.
officials. They're people that you would
Yeah.
never believe would be participating in such. But this is what
There's
we were trying to
a
say about
lot.
the country. Everything going here is going to crap.
Yeah.
It's all
And
going to shit. There's no more, you know. And
it,
another thing, real quick, we're talking about politics.
yeah.
All as I said, I cannot tell you, Rusty, the fights that I've gotten on social media, and all as I said was, we need prayers to get through this. I started saying this 6, 7 months ago before anyone brought religion into prayers,
Whoa.
into politics. Excuse me.
Right.
I'd be like, man, we got to pray, and I had people look at me, pray. This is politics. Prayers don't belong in politics. I said, oh no, where this is going, we're gonna have to pray for the right decision. That's all we can do. And I got attacked. I got attacked by, I'm not going to say who, but I got
Sure.
attacked so bad by saying, prayers, really? Prayers don't belong in politics. And I got into a lot of, and all because I said prayers. In fact, it was so bad. I had one gentleman from an Albany school district that still, if I present what he posted on social media about me,
Yeah.
he will be fired because I actually called the school and they said, you send that to us, what he wrote, and he would be reprimanded in the proper way because he's a teacher of our of students. So him and
Yeah.
his wife were teachers in an Albany school district, and somebody put, I'm going to just say it, they're Republican, and they were saying that what's going on with, and they're for Trump. That's all I'm going to say. They said we're for,
Yeah.
she's for Trump, and she said, with this, all as I said was, we need prayers. And it was a Democrat that attacked me on that. And they said things to me. And again, this is like public because everybody saw it. Everybody saw it on there. In fact, I only
Yeah.
found out because they were messaging me saying, Ellie, you wouldn't believe this guy saying about you. I said, I didn't even say who I believed in or who I was voting for.
Yep.
I
And
said I needed prayers and I got attacked. That to
yeah.
me was crazy.
And then you just tell them you do the same thing, but just in your own words. You want to call it good vibes or,
Mm,
send some good energy or whatever. I mean, it's all the same thing. It's just a different way of saying it. It's a nice thing to say to somebody. Like I heard someone talking about that. And I don't know who it was. Uh, shit. It might have been, I don't know. It might have been someone who's like a Republican radio host or like reporter or something, and he was saying that you can say all these other things, and from any other religion or type of
hmm
belief, like say basically the equivalent of thoughts and prayers or
mm,
whatever. I hope life is good to you, basically. But then if someone says that as like a Christian or something, then it all of a sudden becomes offensive.
yeah.
And
No,
I was
it
like,
was
yeah,
very, it
I
was,
agree with that. That's
yeah, no, a lot of it was,
pretty
but
fucked up.
but there you go again. There's our freedom of speech.
Yeah,
Just
and
like they're trying
it's
to take the Pledge of Allegiance out of the schools, whatever.
I
It
don't think
don't.
it's is it still there anywhere? Or
I
are they
don't know
still
where
doing
it
the
is.
pledge of
Well, they say it at the bowl
I
games, but what I'm saying
right,
is the country. This is. I was born in a country, America, and this was the country I was born in. I am. My grandparents are immigrants. Okay, they came from Italy. So they came here for a better life, and this is what they came for. And they all had businesses, and that's how we grew up. They were very productive, and not only my families. A lot of the immigrants are the backbone of this country, even today.
right.
It's
Even, yeah,
this is
even
what we
today,
have,
exactly.
and nothing wrong with it. But this is what they came in. My family, they didn't come in to try to change the country. They came in to conform to be in the country, to be what the country was, America. That's not what we have today. There's a lot of, they're trying to change our country. That's how I see it and many others. And I think that's why we have a lot of bit of this, I don't say
Right.
revolution going on, but it's too many things trying to be changed. And, we want America the
Yeah.
way it was.
Yeah. And I think it's stuff that shouldn't matter as much as other stuff. There's more stuff that's more important that I think should be focused on right now, um, as opposed to, what's going on, like, or, these places, a lot of cities with high murder rates. That's not a good thing. That's something that should probably be
No,
fixed up
yeah,
something. She
absolutely. And
worked on. That's probably important.
absolutely, Rusty. And that's another thing. I actually posted this on social media too. It's so funny. That's probably why I was getting. No, I didn't get it. I get along with a lot of people on social media, most of them, because my stories are not like it's. I'm not attacking any in particular political party. I'm not.
Right.
I'm talking about my experiences. And one of the experiences, and I did write this on one of the uh, social media because they were talking about it. In my area in upstate New York, they a little over a year ago, they bought buses up there, buses, and
Yeah.
it was unloaded, all men. So everybody is wondering in the town what's going on with all these men. They thought they were terrorists. They didn't know who they were.
Whoa.
Now, this isn't a TV program. This isn't fake. We saw it. Like, did you see those buses? The talk of the town, small town. All these buses were letting these men out to find out they're from Venezuela.
Oh shit. Okay.
All of a sudden, people's houses are getting broken into. My business gotten broken into. We had cars stolen, and our employees' cars were getting broken into. I didn't know firsthand on this, but I heard there was rapes in the town, in homes, people getting broken. There was a lot. Next thing I know, the politicians locally got together. Next thing I know, we hear there's buses coming up and they're trying to gather as many as they can to send wherever they needed to go. I don't know where they sent them. This is
Yeah.
firsthand. Now you tell me, where did these people come from? This is no bullshit. This is what I'm seeing. So this is why I'm like, well, this is crazy. This is not how my family came into this country.
Yeah.
So everyone keeps talking about a wall. I don't want to hear no more about the wall. I
Yeah.
don't want to hear
And
about the
it's,
wall.
I mean,
I mean,
that's
it's
not
okay,
a
the wall,
lot
but
where
I'm saying
people
that's not where the
are,
problem is. It's a problem, but it's not
yeah.
all the problem. It's not the whole
Yeah.
problem.
More people are coming in and just overstaying their visas than anything. That's how they'll fly in or come over the border one way and just never come back. Like the wall will stop some people, but the more than at least more than half of the people are just overstaying their
Hmm.
visas.
I don't know where
And
these Venezuela people came from.
I think they probably
And
got brought up by someone. Like there, like
into
there
the
was
city
probably
from New York City.
some
They shipped
reason
them up. Yeah, but then they took them back. Most of them they were able to. I don't know how they get them
back
all.
to Venezuela or back to over the border to Mexico or to some other
I
small
don't know.
town or
Yeah, I don't know. And it's all
yeah.
and we're all
And
about, like I was saying, the backbone of this country is made by is was built up on you know, immigrants
right.
because we're all
Yeah.
most of us are from some sort. But that's not what when they say that people get. Oh, they want to take everybody out. It's not. They're not taking my grand. They're not. My parents aren't supposed to. They're not going to come get me, or they're not going to come take the people that were here, legit,
Right.
that came in and were working hard. This is what we're made of. This is what this country welcomes. This is what we want. Not the
Yeah.
people that are sneaking in, bringing the drugs and doing all this stuff. This is what we're trying. That's what they're trying to clean up. And I know that, but we'll have to
Right.
just see.
Yeah. I was
I don't know.
kind of weird
Protect
with all that.
yourself.
And I feel it was a lot of people that they were coming and they were like being let out of prisons. Like they let a
Mm,
bunch of I don't know if that's some sort of rhetoric I heard or something, but I feel like they were
I don't
being
know.
like they took out like emptied a number of prisons and like mental institutions and brought that's who they brought up and people
Oh,
that
could
were
be.
in gangs
That could be.
mostly. But again, it could just be something I heard. I'm not too sure. And uh I
But
don't
this
know.
is what's
Yeah.
here. This is what they let in. They're
Yeah.
trying to ruin our country for what we come for, where we, how we were raised. You know, we shouldn't be fearful. We shouldn't be fearful to go, you know, and then, all the other stuff they talk about. Maybe I was going to bring something else up. Anyway,
Yeah.
what else, Rusty? What else can we talk about?
Geez, okay. Yeah, since it's my show, okay, sure. I'll go with it.
We'll do another one.
So
That's
yeah,
funny.
yeah. I mean, I have a five uh thing contract, a five show contract here with you. So come back for my series or whatever it was that guy
Oh, well,
had.
you are. You're more than welcome.
Okay, well, thank you. Yeah, I think that there's just a lot of I don't know. There's so much that really I don't know why, but I mean, it's sure a great way to like separate everyone. Like they did such a good job.
Yeah.
I gotta give them a round of applause for just separating everyone and making people further apart from
They're
everyone. And
dividing the country.
yeah, they
Us.
divided everyone great.
I
And
wrote down in one of the things I said, "Hey, we have to all play in the same sandbox." I got yelled at for
right,
that.
and that's so yeah, like okay, that's a nice thing to say. And
Uh,
it's weird how
I
many
got
things
accused of being
that
a Trump supporter
right,
when I said
it'll
that. I said,
happen.
"Hey, listen, whoever wins, regardless of what goes on, we're all going to play in the same sandbox." I got yelled at. It's
Right.
like, well,
And that's yeah,
uh,
it's weird. It happens, and I don't even know what to do anymore. I'm and I don't know, I'm close to the part where I don't know. I don't know. I like to leave the country one day, but I don't want to leave it because I don't like what's going on. And if so and so doesn't win the election, I'm leaving the country. But I would like to live in another country. I would like to live in a
Costa
country.
Rica, was told.
Yeah, I'm headed down there in a few months,
Yeah, they say it's
just for a
cheaper to
bit.
live there, much better to live. I was
Yeah,
teasing people. I said,
and
"I think I'll go to Costa Rica."
well, I mean, and one of the other things I think should be a huge thing for everyone to get in on is our shitty food and the shit that's put in our food, like
You're
and our
telling me
water.
this.
Like
I'm hearing this a lot.
it's horrible. Like
Yeah,
there are, I mean, my friend and I we were talking about Skittles. Yeah, like there is not one thing. They're little globs of poison. Like that, but
really.
I mean, there's what's in there that's nutritious.
I don't even
It's all
I don't
just a
eat that,
bunch
but
of
yeah, I guess you're right.
chemicals.
No, people have been
It's
saying this because of Cancer Month.
and
They
and
said
yeah, and
something.
oils, all kinds of
Oh,
oils and shit. And I mean, like, yeah, you look at once they introduced vegetable oils into our system, and like uh you kind of watch like the obesity just shoot straight up as soon as
mm.
that one happened. I want to say that happened in the it was right around the time when some of the food companies were being bought out by cigarette companies.
Oh.
Like, so my dad used to work for a company in New York that was a food company, and they got bought out by shit, which one was it? I don't remember. It's the one that makes Marlboros. I can't remember which uh which one it was, but so they bought it out. And so because cigarettes were going like on a decline once they started coming out with all the stop smoking ads, so they got into the food companies. So they took all their knowledge of additives to make things more addictive, to bring them more money and put it into the food. And then that's when all of a lot, not all of, but a lot of the body problems and stuff of that nature really just spiked huge. And shit, yeah, what one was it? Who was it who bought? So my dad worked for a company called General Foods.
Oh,
Um,
wow. And that was a big company.
yeah, they got shit.
I was actually, it's funny. I was going to Google that myself, but I didn't want to, afraid to open my phone with all the messages.
They got okay. They got bought out by Philip Morris in
Oh,
85, and so in 89 they merged General Foods with Kraft, and so General Foods and Kraft were owned then by Philip Morris. And um, yeah, it was like okay, that's and that's something that I've kind of gone down in some rabbit holes on recently about that. Just yeah, like how much like I don't know why that's, but I don't know. I do know why it's not a big thing because I mean those are going to go and also feed the pharmaceutical companies because we got a
mm-hmm.
lot of people that need a lot of
Gonna
pills,
be
a lot
sick.
of
Yeah.
other
Yeah.
shit.
Mhm.
You got sick people, eating sick food. And I like to live in a country where the the food, like the food needs a whole fucking completely destroy it from the bottom. And like so many of the foods we grow don't have
Well,
hardly any.
the ground, it's what they're growing out of the
There's nothing in
ground
the
is the
ground.
biggest, that's where our pollution, it's
Yeah,
our
and
ground is contaminated.
yeah, and there's
Because,
hardly anything left for nutrients
yeah,
in the ground. It's been way over farmed, and now fucking Bill Gates owns, I
ugh,
want to say
that's a nightmare and a
he
half.
yeah, he owns over 50% of all farmland in the United States, if it's not way higher than that.
Wow.
Um, and that's a scary thought. Um, and I don't know. There's so much, and there's like, and they stripped a lot of the foods we have of the nutrients. So we also have to buy supplements to go and take care of those nutrients that would be that like everywhere else in the
Mm-hmm.
world are naturally occurring in these foods. But we have to go and take separate supplements, or we don't, and we're just
Well, and the way
deficient
we,
in those vitamins.
yeah, and the way we cook too, we're cooking out a lot of our nutrients. Um,
Right,
but I'll tell you what was kind of a little interesting to me was I have a friend who was possibly diagnosed, well, possibly breast cancer, and which I thought was kind of shocking. Where she's being treated, they told her do not eat beets, sweet potatoes. Oh, and she started. I said, that's mostly everything that's grown in the ground. She's like,
right.
yeah, that's what the list was. And I'm like, this is strange.
That's very strange.
Yeah, it's like almost everything they told her to try to avoid is grown from the ground. So right there, I think that's where a lot of our issues are coming from.
Yeah,
it's toxins are all the crap in the ground. I know we're talking about this now, but I do believe that. And then it's even though people are growing their own stuff in the ground, it's I think it's coming from whatever
dirty ground.
it has to be. Because when she gave
Yeah,
me the list of what they're telling her the stuff, all the stuff is from the ground. She says, "Yeah." I
right.
said, "This is really weird." But um,
Yeah,
things that you would think like broccoli, all the stuff that it was on this list. I said, "Oh my God, this is stuff that was supposed to be helping you." So I hate to
yeah.
say it might be getting where you might need to take
Or
supplements and not eat the food.
yeah,
Oh, it's coming to the Jetsons. Remember the Jetsons? You might not remember
yeah,
that.
yeah. You get
You
the
might
yeah
be too
little
young for
pill.
that. Remember those little pills that used to get? I don't
Yeah,
want to. I just thought of that.
I'd
Anyway,
almost go for
oh
that.
my God.
I don't like eating. I
Maybe that's what
don't.
it's turned into.
Yeah, I'd be okay with having a pill and just go on my day.
Well, it might be.
Yeah, I might be. I might have just talked that into
Wow.
reality.
Well,
Yeah.
Rusty, you and I can go forever, but we will do another podcast together because I know I keep
Okay,
yapping
yeah,
away here.
I have my contract, and I believe there's a
Yeah.
clause where if
What?
I don't, I get paid. So
Yeah. How many more do we have?
yeah, that we have four
So,
more. So four more with the option for a fifth. So
yes.
that's if these ones go well.
Oh, it's
So
so funny. Yeah, you're cool. Oh, you're cool.
you're cool too.
Yeah, it's fun, Rusty. We can
Cool.
go on forever. They're going to shut us out. We
Yeah,
could probably
I'll
film
bring
eight
you back
hours.
on mine. Yeah, we could take this whole day, and I can chill here,
That's so
and we can
funny.
chill in our chairs, which will probably be our
Well, you know what we
sponsors
could
at
do?
some point.
We'll shut the record and then we'll come back, change our clothes, have lunch, and continue to talk.
Yeah, right.
Oh, all right. Well, listen, Rusty, it was great talking, and this was
Yeah.
today on Story Time with Ellie podcast with Rusty Diamond. Thank you, Rusty. Till next time. Peace out.